Hello everyone, my name is Kasun Rajapaksha. From this tutorial, I will show you how to deploy a React application to Azure Static website. We will look into what prerequisite tools we need, then use Azure extension to deploy the application. Then check the application build with GitHub Action and verify the application deployment. After the build completed, we will bind a custom domain and SSL certificate. So let's get started. Hello guys. Today I'm going to show you how to deploy a React application into Azure Static Web Apps. So in this demo, I will walk through how we can deploy your React application to Azure Static website through VS Code. Then we will see how we can deploy SSL certification and bind a custom domain into this static web app. So before we get started, we need to have few tools installed in our local environment. So we need to have our VS Code in your environment. Then we need to install few extensions. One extension is Azure Tools extension. So you can install it by going to the extension section in the VS Code. Then search for the Azure. Then select the Azure Tools. By selecting this tool section, you will be see there's an installation option. So click install, and it will install a lot of extensions that are related to Azure. After this is completed, we need to go and install Azure Static web app extension. This extension we need to install static web app extension. Then after the installation completed of this static web app extension, we can deploy our application through VS Code. So I already have these two extensions are installed. Now we'll see how we can deploy this to your Azure Static Web App. So in my code base, there's a very simple React application. So this React application is hosted in Azure GitHub repository. So I clone it to my local workstation and open in the VS Code. So to work with this deployment, we need to deploy the code into the GitHub, right? So it will use the GitHub for deployment process, right? So now let's see how we can start the deployment process. For that one, we need to go to this Azure icon in the left sidebar. Then you can see different service sections related to Azure. So in there, you can find the static web application section. So this will be added after you install the extension. So if you can't see this section here, then your extension is not installed correctly. You need to install the static web app extension before appearing this one. So before we going to create a static web app, we need to authenticate with Azure. So for that one, we have to go to the command palette, then click Azure sign in. Then it will prompt you to log in with your credentials. Then after the successful sign in, you can see your subscription. You can select whatever the subscription you need to deploy your static web app. So in my case, I have already selected the subscription. So now I will go and click this plus icon to create a static web app. So I will click the static plus icon. Then it will ask me to add the given name for the static web app. So I will select the default name provided by this extension. So you can change this name for your preference, but I will accept this default name. Then click enter. Then you have to select your language of your static web app. So in my case, I have used the React application. So I will select the React. Then select the root folder path. Then select the build folder. Then enter. Then you can see the notification saying that creating new static website and your web app, static web app name. So this will go and create a action in the GitHub Action, and it will use this GitHub Action to deploy the application into the Azure. So you will get a notification to open the action in the GitHub. So I will click that one. So it will open the action. So you can go and see the action itself. So it will go and download the relevant tools and necessary for this build process, right? So it will use containerization platform to build the images for in the Azure static web apps, right? After that, it will go and start the build process. So it will run the yarn installation install command. Then it will resolve the packages and it will fetch the relevant packages that are needed for this application. So we'll wait a little bit of time for this deployment. Okay. So it will check the dependency links. Then start the building package that you by using yarn run build. Okay, the build completed. Now starting to deploy the application into static web apps. Okay, we'll wait until this is deployed and we'll come back after the deployment is completed. Now the deployment is completed. So you can see the in the build output, you can see the deployment completed notification. Then it will go show you the URL for your static web application. So if I click this URL, I will go to my static web app. So I will click this URL to see my static web app. So you can see that it's a very basic React application, no fancy stuff. So you can access this application through this custom URL provided by the Azure. Now let's see how we can bind your own custom domain into this static web app, and we'll see how we can install the SSL as well. So to do the custom domain binding, you need to go to the Azure portal itself. So I will go to the Azure portal. Then I will go to my static web app. Then under the settings, you can find the custom domain here. So I will go to the custom domain. Then here there's an option called add. I will click add here. Then I will give my name for this static website. So my name is static site.kasunrajapaksha.me. So this is my domain name. Then I will click next. Then what will happen is Azure provide you a CNAME to add into your domain register. So I already have my domain register here. So I will copy this CNAME value. Then I will go to my domain register and I will paste it there. After the domain name record is created, you can click this add button. Then it will go, Azure will go and verify the domain name, and it will validate the domain name for you. I will click add, and it will under the stated it will show that adding, right? So that means it will verifying the domain name. So this will take a little bit of time, so we'll wait until this is finished and we'll come back after the status is completed. Okay, now the status is completed, so you can see the ready as the status. So now I will close this box here. Then your static website custom domain will be shown here. And what you can do is you can copy this URL and you can go to the website, and you can see the same website we accessed previously with this domain name, but here we are using our custom domain, right? And you can see that the domain is SSL verified. So I can go and see the certificate as well. So this certificate is provided by the Azure itself for our domain name. So we don't have to manage those SSL certificate from our end. Right? So that's all for this short demo. How we can how can we deploy our React application into the Azure Static Web App. Thank you for watching this tutorial deploying React application into Azure Static Website. You can find more interesting tutorials about cloud technologies and DevOps in Enlear Academy. Please subscribe to our channel to get notified when there's a new tutorial is released. Until we meet again, have a good day for you all. Thank you.